Hey, we're going to be doing a neck stretch for if you struggle with tech neck. Okay, so let's just start by sitting in a comfortable position. Let's go ahead and just make sure you're seated, grounded on our tailbone, on our sit bones here. And then we're going to reach up nice and tall to the sky as if we've got a string attached to the top of our head. Lifting up. Inhale and exhale. And we're just going to start by doing some basic yeses and nos. So what I mean by that is yes is going to be up and down, warming up our neck. Following your breath as you inhale, stretching up, and exhale, tucking your chin in towards your chest. As you reach up towards the sky, really try not to press your body forward, but really reach up, almost like you're reaching with your chin. Following that breath. And we never want to compress the back of the neck too much, so if you have any type of condition where there's compression going on here, really resist that urge to lean your head back. Instead, lift it up. If you need to, you can place a hand on the back of the neck for support. Okay, and now we're going to move into the nose. So we're just going to slowly warm up our neck by looking side to side. Notice how far you can reach your chin on each side without judgment, but notice. Because that is part of learning our body, right? Is noticing what its abilities are, what it's capable of. Continue those. Nose, side to side. And when we're doing rotational movement, something that is really important to remember is that we don't want to rotate and tip at the same time. That motion is not good for our neck, it's not good for our spine, and it can actually increase pain if there's any injuries or anything going on. So nice and gentle, nice and seated, nice and tall. One last round here. To the left and to the right. And coming back to center. Now we're going to work on the side to side motion of bringing our right ear to our right shoulder and our left ear to our left shoulder. Inhaling as we stretch, exhaling as we come back through center. To increase this stretch, something you can do is actually place your hands at your sides and walk your fingertips out. So, bringing your hands to your mat and just walking those fingertips out, and notice the difference here. Again, keep your chin and your face forward. And just slowly increase the depth of the stretch. One more way to increase how far we go in this stretch is going to be by placing the hand on the opposite side of the way you're stretching towards. So if I'm stretching towards my left, you're going to bring that right hand to the small of your back. Keep this hand extended for support. And make sure we're not hunching forward, right? Bring those shoulders up nice and tall. Keep the chin slightly tucked in. And we're gonna reach that right ear that left ear towards our left shoulder. You can feel that stretch all the way down through our rotator cuff here. Our opening is so important. That includes our rotator cuff. When it comes to those of us who do a lot of work on the computer, a lot of sitting. You can take a couple of breaths in each of these positions since we're doing some extra motions with it. Keep these abdominals pulled in. And as we place the hand on the small of our back, be sure that your body isn't allowing that elbow to kind of go backwards, right? So bring that elbow forward, almost like you're pressing into it. You're gonna press your back of your hand into the small of your back. And that's gonna increase that stretch here through the rotator cuff and through the top of the shoulder. Coming back to center. Now we're going to work on warming up the rest of our spine. So we're going to do some light cat-cows that are seated. This is a very gentle version of this pose. So as we inhale, bring the chest forward, the shoulders down and back, arching through the lower back, very gently, just bringing the chest forward. And as we breathe, breathing into our lower abdominals. And then as we exhale, rounding down through the lower part of the back, even hinging back onto our sit bones. And bringing the shoulders more forward, tucking that chin towards our chest. Inhale and exhale. The thing about the spine is that it's all connected. So if we're going to be working on our neck, we also need to try and release some of those muscles in our mid back, our low back as well. And you never want to work on your spine unless you really do a good warm up of it. Okay, and now if you need to move those legs a little bit or reposition, go ahead. I know for me it gets a little bit stiff having my knees in the same position for that long. So I'm gonna go ahead and open my legs up here, and we're just gonna get a little stretch here in the low back, a little warm up. Reaching forward as far as you can with keeping your chest lifted here. We don't want to round through the spine in this position. We're gonna be stretching out our hamstrings a little bit. Break here from our cross-leg position. Okay, and now coming up seated nice and tall, again pulling in those abdominals, making sure we're protecting our lower back, and we do have that normal posture and curvature to our spine because we are seated on our sit bones. If we need to move some of that out of the way, so you're seated and grounded, please go ahead and do that. And we're going to now work on a couple other stretches that involve the muscles that actually hold your neck in place. So rotate your chin towards the right side of your body, about 45 degrees. Then we're just going to tuck our chin in and stay in this posture here. Inhale, exhale. You might feel a little pinch between your shoulder blades. That is that muscle that travels all the way from the neck, all the way down to the shoulder blade, and that's what we're working on here. Inhale, exhale. Okay, and one more round. Inhale, Exhale, and we're gonna come back up to center. Just give your neck a little rotational movement here. Okay, and we're gonna go to the other side. So rotating your chin to the left, 45 degrees, and tucking that in. You may notice difference on one side to the other. Okay, last breath in. Exhale. And coming back to center. Okay, so for this last one, we do need a little bit more support here. So I'm just gonna bring my feet into butterfly, get another little stretch in those hips. See how we're working on an area that also is involved when you're seated a lot. It's kind of my goal here is to do both at the same time. So now I wanna work on these front SCMs right here. Okay, your sternocleidomastoid is one of the most important muscles when it comes to your neck. But what happens when we sit a lot is, as your neck comes forward, these shorten and get tighter and tighter. It puts pressure on your jaw, on the back of your neck. It can even put strain on your clavicle and your collarbone in this area, and it actually makes it harder for your lymphatic system to drain as well. So what we want to do is we want to get that back into its posture, stretch it out a little bit. I'm going to show you some postural stretches after this that are going to help with restoring that natural curvature to your neck. Please be careful doing these. Make sure that you're being very gentle, not going too long to begin with, and that you're using support. So that's why we have our blocks here today. We will get to that in one moment. Okay, first let's stretch out our SCMs. So this one's a little bit trickier, and I want you to use the same technique that we used before in rotating the chin. We're going to rotate our chin to the left, about 45 degrees, and then you're just going to pull your chin back and up until you feel a stretch here right in this front right side. Sometimes you have to tilt your head just a little bit further back or towards the left side. But you might see it bulging out right here right now as I stretch. That means that's the right muscle right there. And you will feel it probably even all the way up into your jaw area. Remember, try not to compress or rotate too much. We just want to be very gentle. And if you need to, you can increase the stretch by actually pushing your chin forward slightly. Stay connected with your breath. If you need a little bit of increase in the stretch as well, you can always place your hand on your chest, press your chin out, and pull down. All right, exhale, come back to center. If you feel a little bit like you're using those muscles in the back, you feel a little bit of burning sensation, maybe because those muscles need a little bit more strengthening work. So that's actually a good thing here. Your body is saying, hey, I'm working on supporting you while we stretch at the same time. Okay, now we're gonna work on the other side. So rotate your chin to the right, 45 degrees. And we're just going to take the head back towards the opposite shoulder. And you may feel this in a different spot on this one. For example, on the first side, I felt it more lower in my SCM. On this side, I feel it higher, actually more towards my jawbone. That can mean several different things. It can mean that you have some rotation in your spine, or that if you have any type of curvature, your body is actually compensating. So it makes it tighter on one side and in one area and tighter in another area in order to help keep your neck and your head balanced and to keep your equilibrium. But just notice those things in your body because they can be telling you something. So let's continue the stretch here. exhale and coming back to center. How does everybody feel? I definitely feel that my jaw is looser. All right, guys, so now we're gonna work on some postural stretches. These are a really important part of taking care of your neck and your posture. So let's go through this about 5 times here together. Exhale. We're opening up our chest for our next exercise. We always want to warm up the parts of our body before we stretch them, or cold stretch them. One more here together. Inhale, exhale, pressing those hands forward. Coming back to heart center. Okay, now we're gonna grab our block. If you don't have a block, you can take a stack of books together and that will work just as well. Typically starting out, I'm going to recommend that you only do 1 block. For me personally, as you can see, I have a very long neck. So I'm gonna need, and because I've already been practicing this for several years with my chiropractor and with my yoga practice, I'm gonna need 2, okay? If you have a longer neck or more range of motion in your neck, I do recommend 2. Otherwise, definitely start with just 1 and work your way up from there. This pose it's very important to only start with no more than 1 minute at a time. Okay, guys, and I also like to have some sort of movement into that, right? You don't want to just start out with, okay, we're going straight into this 2 blocks and our whole body is going to be stretched open on that. Your body, that will be very uncomfortable for you if you have never done that. So what you can do is you can actually work your way up to it by having another block here. So this one is a little bit bigger, you can see, but you can do it with 2 like this, and then you can even have this one up a little bit higher, okay guys? So either way, you need to work your way into this pose. You can also start with a bolster if that works better for you. I am going to bring my blanket so that it's not too harsh of a transition here on my back and on the back part of my neck. Excuse me, Hanky, watch out, baby. Gonna move this towards the middle a little bit more. So to get into this pose, please support yourself using your elbows. We're just gonna come back onto our elbows and we're gonna lay back onto our blocks. The placement of this is very important. You want the back of this block to be at about right above where your shoulders meet your neck, okay? So you should be laying back over top of this. Please don't lift your neck up by yourself. Allow your hands to help you, okay? Don't just use your neck and strain up like this. Another key point is to note, when you do get into this posture, we're gonna roll to the side to get up. That is the best way to protect your neck posture, okay? So, I'm gonna lay my head back here. All right, and we're just going to lay here for about 1 minute. Bringing your hands to your sides. You may feel some discomfort in the beginning. That is normal. If it feels too painful, please go ahead and either reduce the height or reduce the length of time. Build yourself up. If you need to do 30 seconds and work your way up to a minute and a half, 2 minutes in 30-second increments, do that. You can also bring your arms to the side for even more of a chest opener, or if you need more of a shoulder rotator cuff opener, bring them up in more of a field goal position. Having your knees bent in this posture will help you protect your low back. If you start to feel any tingling or numbness, please go ahead and roll yourself out of this posture, okay? Okay, so here's how we're gonna get out of this pose. You're gonna roll to the side. If you're up high, be careful, okay? Use your elbow for support. We're gonna grab our head with our hand here. We're just gonna roll to our side. Okay. And then from here, we're gonna press ourselves up. All right, awesome work, guys. I hope this helps you with your neck posture and releasing some of that neck tension. Thank you, namaste.